Did you know that King Tutankhamun was crowned pharaoh at just 9 years old? It's almost impossible to imagine the weight of an entire civilization resting on the shoulders of a child. Yet, that's exactly what happened in ancient Egypt, a land where the gods and the people looked to the pharaoh for guidance, protection, and leadership. Imagine being handed the keys to an entire kingdom before you even hit double digits. The throne room, echoing with the footsteps of powerful officials, suddenly belongs to a boy who's barely outgrown his toys. Tutankhamun, or King Tut as we know him, wasn't supposed to be a legend. In fact, he was just one of many pharaohs in a long line, and his reign was expected to be unremarkable. He was a sickly kid, with a club foot and possibly a chronic disease. Some experts believe he suffered from malaria and other genetic disorders. But after the chaos of his father Akhenaten's rule, Egypt was desperate for a fresh start, even if it meant turning to a child. Picture this: the throne room, packed with officials twice his age. Tut sits there, feet barely touching the ground, wearing the crown that once belonged to the mighty pharaohs. The air is thick with expectation, and every eye is on him. He's terrified, but he's also determined. Despite his youth and frailty, Tut knows the importance of his role. He's aware that every decision he makes could shape the future of Egypt. But the real power? It wasn't in his hands at first. The court was filled with experienced men who had their own ambitions and agendas. Tut was surrounded by crafty advisors, especially Ay and Horemheb, who called the shots from behind the scenes. These men had survived the political storms of Akhenaten's reign and knew how to pull the strings. For the first years, Tut was more of a figurehead than an actual ruler. The elders made the decisions, while Tut learned the art of kingship by watching and listening. Despite that, he did something bold. He began to assert his own will, slowly but surely. Tut reversed his father's radical changes, bringing back the old gods and moving the capital back to Thebes. This was a huge step in restoring stability and tradition to Egypt. It might sound simple, but for ancient Egypt this was a game changer. The people felt their world was right again, and the priests regained their power. He tried to play the part of a warrior king too. Even though his health was fragile, he wanted to be seen as a strong and capable leader. There are images showing Tut in a chariot, bow drawn. These scenes were meant to inspire confidence and show the world that Egypt's king was ready to defend his land. But let's be real. Most historians agree he probably wasn't leading armies on the battlefield. His physical limitations would have made that nearly impossible. Still, he wanted to be seen as strong, even if his health kept him from the front lines. The image of a warrior king was important for Egypt's morale and unity. Tut's reign didn't last long. In the grand scheme of Egyptian history, his time on the throne was just a brief moment. He died at just 19. His life was cut tragically short, leaving behind more questions than answers. The cause? Still debated. Some say malaria, others an accident, maybe even murder. Modern science has tried to solve the mystery, but the truth remains elusive. His early death could have meant his name would disappear forever. Many pharaohs were forgotten, their legacies lost to time. But here's the twist. His tomb, packed with treasures, lay untouched for centuries. Unlike other tombs, it escaped the hands of grave robbers and remained a time capsule of ancient Egypt. In 1922, Howard Carter cracked it open, and suddenly, King Tut was the most famous pharaoh in the world. The discovery made headlines everywhere, sparking a global fascination with ancient Egypt. Not for his wars or his laws, but for what he left behind. The treasures, the art, and the mystery of his life captured imaginations everywhere. King Tut's story is proof. Sometimes the unlikeliest rulers are the ones we remember most. His short, troubled reign became a legend, not because of what he did, but because of what was found after he was gone. If you want more hidden history, hit that subscribe button and join me for the next adventure.